lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Righteous Force, 10th Man, and I think that's pretty much it in G+, along with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Any signs of a physical edge known as the horizon, capable of geometric measurement?
Nope.
They're supposed to be.
Any signs at all of any Earth curvature?
We're waiting.
Axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, any of that?
No, they keep telling us we're spinning at different speeds wherever you are on their globe model, but me, it seems like just the air around me is moving.
Hey, Chocolate, any scientific evidence of gravity?
What is that?
What's gravity?
It's a good question.
Good morning.
Morning, Chocolate.
Hopefully we'll get some scientific evidence of it and we'll know exactly what it is.
Scientific evidence of what?
Gravity. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology or astrophysics?
Not scientific based whatsoever.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Well, like I said the other day, they don't even know where the horizon is, so why would I trust them on that one?
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
This one never gets attention. Or it doesn't seem to.
Because it's a presupposed spherical Earth. You're begging the question already.
Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
Absolutely not.
Did we have molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical
Yeah.
Earth?
Yeah, you did that one.
Any evidence of the R value?
Oh, well, not with the black swan. Not their R value.
Oh, they've definitely got an R value, and it definitely gives them a geometric horizon they don't have.
Yeah, it doesn't come up the way they say though. In reality.
So, a couple of quick shout outs. First to my Yoda member of Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, which is the flatearthchannel.com. So check him out. And also a shout out to Tom Parker for hitting the super chat. Nathan the Ball Crusher. QE the Ball Destroyer. Adam Meakin the Voice of Reasoning. Keeps it flat, brothers. John 3:16. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Tom Parker. Really appreciate your support. That concludes the housekeeping. Thank you very much.
We've seen the disturbance in the force ever since the Black Swan came out.
It's been a lot of sleepless nights on the globe side. Gotta be honest though, other than doing a few searches to see who's covering the subject, I don't really give it much thought outside of the show. Doesn't, fill me full of dread or woe or anything of that kind of nature. It's interesting that some of the fundies that come here at the moment are telling us how we should be scared, and it was all true that the Earth was flat, how they'd have to start looking into the Illuminati or whatever bullshit that the globe head conspiratards, as they're clearly going to become when they realise the truth, are going to have to go through wading.
Hang on. Are you saying because they got a real whooping on the Black Swan, now they're changing subject to Flat Earth and Illuminati?
I just think it's positioned that way. I haven't quite figured this out yet, but for some reason, when you see people like unorthodox teetering on the edge of this subject, not having an explanation, bracing against it, calling a logical consistency a logical fallacy that he is guilty of, projecting his reification onto us, all of the telltale signs of somebody that's having a complete meltdown. When that type of person starts voicing their concerns about what would be the effect if they found out Earth was flat, or if it was actually flat and they'd been lied to, moreover, well, their concerns in his instance, and in the same instance conspiracy cats, are that suddenly everyone's like a murderer and they're going to come to get them and chop their heads off, and they need to stress and worry and lose sleep over it. Now, what I'm saying is there's a fairly reasonable proportion of people who look into this subject, the subject of the nature of our existence, the nature of the world we live upon, and they end up covering baby hoaxes on the news, Illuminati, all sorts of other conspiratard crap. You think, well, that can't be coincidence if even the people who are on our opposing side tell us we should be, or project their concerns onto us about that very thing. It's like, I don't know, other than an interesting folly, has anybody here ever really been concerned that suddenly the Freemasons are going to catch up with them?
No.
No.
So why would that concern you if you're having it demonstrated that you don't have the geometry necessity for a model that's sphere shaped? Why would your brain run away to things like conspiracies of that nature, unless it was by design? That's the only conclusion. That's speculation, obviously, but that's my conclusion.
So for people who appeal to authority and trust authority and the government can't ever lie, those people, it's going to be a shock for. But I already know the government lies, and I don't appeal to authority. I look for truth based on reality and facts that I could ascertain myself. So if someone tells me a story, I'll say, well, do you have any facts for that? Did that really happen? Or is that something that was passed down maybe through five different people, and has the story changed?
Go on.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's what I like about this whole FE scene, especially the show. We focus more like on the empirical stuff now, and it grounds people more instead of just chasing after fables, so to say.
I mean, like
Not
I said,
all, but some of us.
Well, when I was doing Flat Earth UK, that there was very much an air of that in the people that I was talking to. So those subjects very much got discussed. But like I say, for me, it was an interesting aside to the topic in hand. Hence, all of those shows were called Flat Earth UK. These are all called Flat Earth Debate. There's a very specific subject matter that I want to be focusing on here. But like I say, if you're watching the opponent slowly boil like a frog in water, they don't realise that it's already boiling around them when it is. And the boiling analogy being the nature of your reality. You know, if you like an orthodox, you're appreciating but bracing against the geometric impossibility a sphere Earth offers because you're hearing the arguments. You are gonna leak your concerns. That's what he was doing the other day, leaking all over us. And his concerns are, to me, farcical, comedic even. But there we go. Like I say, there's other people out there on sideline tangent subjects to us, and in some instances the subject that is incorporated into these conspiratard views about Illuminati and Masons and the dark forces, the powers that should not be, devil worshipping, all this kind of shite. And personally, it's like, in terms of the physicality of the world, it didn't unfold. It's always been the way it is. So nothing physically changed. Only my appreciation of the world around me. Well, if that means that I appreciate that I've been lied to, it doesn't suddenly mean I've got to go out and look for a justification for the people who I trust not lying, i.e. it's this third party, the Illuminati, they're behind it all, their strings are attached to the people who I know. It's like, well, if you want to justify it that way, that's fine. Just accept that the people who actually lied either are stupid or liars.
There's another interesting twist I noticed hanging around ballers is that they're themselves are actually pretty conspiratorial minded. Like they'll say things like, "Oh, Nathan Oakley is not really a flat earther, or he's an actor," and this is just being conspiratorial on themselves. No?
Yeah, it's a way of spinning a narrative that says the people who are challenging my paradigm aren't really challenging my paradigm. They're just here for entertainment. So I've just got to show that they're just here for entertainment. Smash the super chat, by the way, people. I do actually have to eat. So, yeah. Well, there's an element of truth to it, but they want to latch onto an element of truth. Yeah, everybody who's on YouTube has got a slight personality defect in the regards that they're kind of self-absorbed to a certain extent. You've got to be. That's the nature of doing this. So you can't get away from that. But to focus on that as an excuse for somebody who's got a coherent argument destroying your paradigm is just a defense mechanism. No, that's just entertainment. In other words, if somebody started to argue to them that, you know, Darth Vader was going to come and get them, nah, that's not real, that's just entertainment. And the subject of Flat Earth is the same. It's not real. I'll put my fingers in my ears and tell everybody that it's entertainment. Okay, well, if that's how you feel you need to defend your cognition, then that's up to you, you know, that's fine, that's perfectly acceptable by me, I don't care. You know, and in many ways you could argue it's true, and that's what I did with the dude yesterday. Oh, you're just an actor. Well, I trained as an actor when I was about 16. I'm 40. So, yeah, if you want to hold that against me, that I used to beg and juggle and do things on the streets to earn money then, 25 years ago, then you're welcome to, but it doesn't change the argument that we're having. It's essentially just an ad hominem attack on me. Or the channel. It's like, who cares about the channel? There's thousands of them. Go watch something else. But you're here watching me, aren't you? Because it's very troubling. And I'm glad that you're viewing the show. Thank you for your critique. It's not going to change anything I do. I'm not governed by my viewers in terms of my actual material that I produce. They may or may not like it. And you're saying you don't, but you're here glued to the screen telling me how I should produce it so it's better for your entertainment. While you declare that it's just entertainment, you don't need to take any arguments on board or debate them. Well, you can justify what's happening here any way you like. I don't care. Same applies to the people who might be under the misapprehension that I want to convert them to Flat Earth. I don't care. Seriously, I don't care. If you go away from here going, I think it's a globe, I don't see that as a loss. And if you come away going, you know what, you've convinced me. You personally, Nathan Oakley, has convinced me Earth is flat. I'd be like, okay. It's like, that was really not my objective. I am actually a YouTuber first and foremost. This is actually entertainment. Hope it's all entertaining everybody in the audience. But the entertainment of watching a paradigm that's not true go down the toilet, that to me is extremely entertaining. So you may not appreciate that the entertainment value is in the fake religion of heliocentricity dying. Well, that's fine too. You can brace against it and say, no, it's just entertainment. The line is drawn there. Therefore, all characters in this screen are fictitious. It's like, no, we're not. Just people talking about the nature of our world. That's it.
Well, we have.
The show is very entertaining.
I love it. I'm my own biggest fan. I watch every single one. I think they're great.
I know. I watch the after show as well when I can. There's no other show where I would actually watch / take part in the morning and then in the afternoon actually watch it again. So kudos to you, my friend.
The actors, hang on. The actors here in the States are very political. So am I supposed to think they're acting when they talk about their politics, or couldn't they be both?
They're just blurring the distinction between a persona and an act. So an act, in terms of how they're describing it, would require a pre-programmed plan, a storyline, a script. Well, this hasn't got any of those things. If they want to describe my character, as in my persona when I'm online, that's a different issue. Again, you could just boil that down to an ad hominem attack. Who cares? Same goes for QE. Oh, well, his presentation is X, Y, and Z. Who cares? Just take the information. If you're so stupid that you can't dilute the information versus the character, then you're an idiot. Then you're an idiot. You know, you want to process the information and bias it based on the delivery rather than the information. It's like, well, you're not a very good judge of information then. Hey, about to call you QE. Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
Hey, Ranty. I mean Nathan.
Hey, what?
You call me QE?
Oh, right,
What's
you call
up,
me
Ranty?
Ranty.
Hi, Ranty. I mean Nathan.
Good to have you.
Radio check.
Hey, Babs.
I see that Rumpus and Ranty are having a bug. Listen, the conclusion of the Black Swan thing, there's no such thing as looming because they need a horizon for it to loom above. And the horizon that they're giving us is the apparent horizon on the oil platforms picture. So they need the apparent horizon for it to loom above to form the apparent horizon. Sorry, they need the geometric horizon for the objects to loom above. But the problem is they can't pick out where the geometric horizon is. It's just, and Ruhif has admitted that it's a geometric calculation. It's not. It doesn't actually exist. We can't ever see it. So then the problem then becomes, well, are we not describing Narnia's horizon? And they just can't see the problem with it. It's like, and Rumpus will not concede
So
that
you won.
looming is dependent on a horizon.
You won, basically. So at the point that he says, well, it's not actual. I mean, it's not like it's a physical thing. What, the edge of your sphere and the world being a ball? Yeah, we know.
Yeah. They don't know that they're dead. That's the problem. They think that they're like zombies, where they can still be survive the flat Earth apocalypse, but they're dead and they just don't realize it.
I put that down to the last argument ending in a draw. Just with a lot of... Go ahead.
I was going to say they're hijacking the term looming and interpreting it to mean light bending around the ball, and that's why it always looks flat.
Yeah, but the mathematics are based... The mathematics starting point is a geometric horizon. In their model, when they're describing this, they've got a point with a tangent line to it called the horizon. It's the bulge. It's the point that things are looming up beyond and before, and it's the starting point for their maths of 7/6R. Once that goes, the geometry falls to pieces because they haven't got that anymore. And it's an absolute necessity if you're doing geometry of a sphere, which is what they do when they tell us the world's a sphere. We just don't have a geometric horizon. Game over. Geometry useless. Earth not a geometric sphere.
Hold on, Nathan. I was able to dig up that debate that you mentioned yesterday when I was talking to Zanuck, and I did in fact say that they are two horizons. But I want to justify why I actually said.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, what Zanuck was saying was that we never see the geometric horizon. We only see the apparent horizon. And the reason behind that is because we're seeing a refracted image of the geometric horizon. So that's what my understanding was. It's not that I necessarily thought that they were two separate horizons. It's just that it was the geometric horizon that was being refracted to a point that it had shifted from its original location.
So if it's a geometric horizon that's being refracted, is that, which has, according to him, been refracted, a geometric horizon then?
No, it's no longer geometric. It's apparent.
So ergo, the horizon, which in their model is and must be geometric, is in this instance being argued on his side for its lack of physicality. He's claiming the physical geometric sphere edge we must have in our model, in this instance, isn't a physical geometric sphere edge. So he's essentially declaring defeat because his model requires a geometric horizon. So it works both ways. Either you can say, okay, I accept. You say this horizon, we only have one, is a refracted geometric horizon. So this horizon is not a geometric horizon. Ergo, we don't have a geometric horizon. So when they start to say, yes, but we'll take the geometric horizon and we'll bend light around it at 7/6R and loom up the horizon. What are you talking about? We don't have a geometric horizon to do any of that shit with. You've just conceded we don't have one. So where the hell are you getting this geometry from? Oh, it's just a thought experiment. Oh, well, only last year. It was the nature of our reality. We had geometry blocking buildings. Now it's a thought experiment. So they've lost.
Well, I did in fact ask him why we never see the geometric horizon. We only see the apparent one. And he said that the only way you would see the geometric horizon is if you're in a vacuum. The atmosphere is what's preventing us from seeing it.
It's a shame their geometric model doesn't work like that. The model has no air. It's just a model. It doesn't have air in it. And when they tell you what the air in reality does, they base what the air will do on the geometry. So the starting point would be the leading edge of the sphere with its geometry. Now let me ask you something, Babs. By admission from Zanuck, do they have that absolutely required geometric horizon in order to extrapolate out how much light's going to bend around it, given that he's told you that apparently this horizon is being refracted and is definitely not a physical location as required by their geometry?
No, they do not have a geometric horizon.
So they don't have what is absolutely necessitated by an assertion of a geometric model that we live on then. So we win. They lose. Earth, not a sphere.
Brenda wanted to chat with Riley if he wants.
The problem is, though, they don't realise that they've lost. They don't seem to understand the point that's being presented means that they don't have a geometric horizon. They still pretend. It's like I'm playing this computer game right now, which is basically like building your own city. Now, the city doesn't actually exist, but I've got 4 or 5 different subway circuits going around it, and I've got bus stops and all these things that allow the citizens to get to and from the city and places of work and family and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't actually exist. It's only binary data on a hard drive somewhere that's got little ones and zeros, but it's not physical. But I can describe it as though it's physical. I can tell you how somebody can get to work. I can really zoom in on one of the Sims and I can watch their walk to work every day if I really wanted to. But it doesn't actually exist, and that's what they're doing. They're talking about Narnia, but don't realise they're talking about Narnia.
Yeah, it's called reification.
Narnia doesn't exist. And Ranty did an exceptional presentation in regards to what we're talking about right now with the horizon and how light bends. And before, because I know Brenda's going to obfuscate right now, I just want to get 2 questions in that I've been meaning to ask in regards to this. So in the Black Swan image, exactly is the horizon supposed to be? Is it 1.22 miles away?
According to their geometry.
And how much further away is it?
More than 9 miles.
More than 9 miles? Okay, yeah, so that's definitely not going to work on their model at all. Another thing that I wanted to ask was, people were telling me that the only way you would be able to determine whether or not the horizon was at eye level was by using a theodolite. But all of the images that I've seen that present theodolites next to the horizon showing that it is in fact level or at eye level are taken with cameras. And I know that our eyes, the horizon is like a effect that's a result of our eyes. But do cameras work the same way as our eyes do? Do cameras also sort of center the horizon, or is it completely different? How is that calibrated?
Well, it depends what you're referring to. If you're referring to their sphere model, as you raise in altitude, you would point your camera further and further down. In other words, the horizon's dropping, and to keep it center frame, you would be angling down. So in reality, you're just describing what happens as you raise up. Horizon follows you.
No, that's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is when we look in the distance, we always see the horizon at eye level, and this is using our naked eyes. But is that the same with cameras? If I'm looking through a camera, is the horizon always going to be in the center of the frame, or is it not going to be there? Is it going to match identical with what my eyes are seeing?
It's the same principle. It's not going to be center of frame if you tip your camera up or down, is it? Because you can move it so that if you tip your camera down, the horizon's at the top of the frame. So this is kind of non sequitur. But in terms of
but when we
just let me get to the end.
Go ahead, sorry.
In terms of the positioning on their model, if you're talking about the camera assumed to be center frame, in order to keep the horizon center frame on their orthographic perspective ignorant model, then you would have to angle the camera down to keep the horizon center frame, because their horizon is a geometric edge that they will automatically assume that as you raise in altitude, you will be mandatory angling your camera down towards what they call the geometric bulge.
Right. I understand that much. But I don't know, perhaps I'm asking the question in the wrong way. What I'm saying is, when I look at the horizon appears to be at a specific location. Right? Is that location going to be the same when I look at it through a camera from the same height?
Yeah.
Or is it going to change?
Well, you just get a better picture. You might get a increased resolution, but yeah, it's going to be exactly the same.
Is it going to be at the same height?
Yeah, it's going to be at the same height. The thing that will change it, as in the Black Swan, is the conditions. It can vary massively, but if you just put up a telescope and look at what you look and then move your eye away, it's not going to suddenly change height when you move out of the frame of the viewfinder of the telescope or your camera. You're just going to see a better resolution or a different magnification, but it doesn't change its position relative to where you're looking at it.
When you look away from the viewfinder, is what you're looking at with your naked eyes going to match what you're seeing with the viewfinder?
Yes, absolutely. Other than the
so
resolution.
Cameras do in fact behave the same way that our eyes do.
Well, within the restraints of the Rayleigh criterion. So you can calculate your angular resolution based on the aperture. And obviously, if you're looking through a telescope, you've got a bigger aperture. So other than those increased magnification effects, i.e. the resolution increase, they're going to look the same. The difference will come on, you can see it on the Skunk Bay time lapse. It varies throughout the day. The horizon's physical position is a non sequitur. It doesn't have physicality, as they're all disclaiming left and right. But it must have, if you're on a ball.
Right.
May I speak to Riley, please?
Right, let me finish with Babs here. Babs, the P900
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. The P900 telescope and binoculars are used to extend your view. So they're an extension of your eyes. Your eyes have a limitation. You put one of those things in front of it, you are aiming it. So if you point it down, you're going to see down. If you point it to the apparent horizon, you're going to see the apparent horizon. So think of it as an extension of your eyes with a bigger aperture. And whatever you point at, that's what you're going to see. It's just simple as that.
You there, Anthony?
Right. I was just thinking that it might be different because I don't know if the lenses in our eyes are the same as the lenses in cameras, but
No.
The way you pointed it out makes a little bit more sense.
No, they're not. But it doesn't change the fact that the horizon won't change position when you change your optical resolution or magnification. Are you there, Anthony?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brenda.
Yeah, Anthony, there seems to be some confusion about geometric and apparent horizons.
And your point is?
Well, maybe we could go over it there and I could clear up those confusions. You seem to be confused about what the difference is between the geometric and the apparent horizon. I could be wrong, but could you repeat for me what the controversy is?
The apparent horizon is a line where it appears to meet the sea or the land with the sky. The geometric horizon is a calculation that you tell us exists but can't point out in any picture ever. So we say the geometric horizon doesn't actually exist. It's a figment of your model.
Oh, well, that's part of the problem. The geometric horizon is a function of, the size of the object that you're on. It wouldn't even have to be the Earth. It could be any object that is roughly spherical in shape, and your height, right? So it would be a line tangent to the surface of the object you're on that is directly in line with the observer. And then the apparent horizon on a surface with an atmosphere is further away behind the geometric horizon.
We don't have two horizons.
Because
this is nonsense. This is nonsense.
Atmospheric
This is
effects,
nonsense. We don't have two horizons. What are you talking about? You've just said it's above the apparent. The apparent is above the geometric. We don't have two horizons, bonehead.
I didn't say above. I said it's beyond.
Sorry,
Brenda, who is it?
Hold on.
Confused.
You lied. You said its apparent horizon is above the geometric horizon. That's what you just said.
I believe I said beyond. It is further.
So beyond. So the apparent horizon is beyond this second geometric horizon. No. I'll say it for a third time. We have one horizon. One. Not two. One. Clear?
Oh, you're wrong.
Let's just put her on mute so I can point out that on screen right now we have a picture with one horizon. On screen right now. Not two, not five, one. It's part of the definition. Not two, not one above the other, not one beyond the other, just one. Now, a sphere Earth must have a geometric horizon. It's a necessity. Your model's geometric. So it must have a geometric horizon. The problem is we don't have one. We don't have one in reality. That's your problem. Not that we don't understand that the apparent horizon, it's totally redundant, is beyond the geometric horizon. No, it fucking isn't. We don't have two. Moron.
Hey, Brenda, could you point out the geometric horizon in the image that Nathan was showing? Could you point?
On the web feed, I didn't see an image.
We don't have two horizons. She's never going to achieve what you're asking. Let's just nip that in the bud. By definition, there's only ever one.
However,
there can only ever be one. There is never two. No, we don't have a apparent horizon, redundant, beyond a geometric horizon, as described by you. That was the point I stopped you talking, because it's nonsense. We only have one, not two.
There are actually three.
No.
But we're ignoring
I'll say it for the fourth time, because she's deaf. We only have one horizon. Your model would suggest that horizon is geometric. It isn't, and therefore we don't have sphere geometry. The horizon is not geometric. There isn't a new imaginary one that you can conjure, because that violates the law of non-contradiction. Because there is only one horizon. Now, I know you're going to say there's 3, maybe 5, maybe 16. But there isn't, no matter how much you appeal to this complete bollocks of us having more than one horizon. Singular. Only one.
Well, you're wrong, because there are three different definitions.
Why
We just
have you never
define-
argued for this many horizons before this black swan argument?
It's because they showed us the geometric model, Chocolate, and it only had one horizon, the geometric horizon that their model says the edge of the Earth is. They claimed that was the horizon. It was blocking buildings. They only ever had one. We only have one. By definition, it is only a singular location. But she's stupid. She thinks there's more than one. She thinks that horizons are plural. She's an idiot.
Yeah. All I did,
yeah.
All I did is look it up.
Hey,
Brenda, you guys have been coming in here for
people?
years and never
When
argued
people
that there
talk
were
at once, I
more
can't
than one
understand.
horizon. Do you hear me, Brenda?
Yeah, there's more than one.
Why have you never argued for more than one before?
But there isn't more than one. That's nonsense.
It hasn't come
so
up.
why has why has your side's argument changed so drastically now?
It
Do
hasn't
you not
changed.
realize that?
I don't think the argument has changed. Some people might be stating things in a different way, such that in a way
Such that you have
leads to
5
confusion.
horizons now, but you never said that before. Now there's horizons we don't see.
Not 5.
You've never said that before.
There's 3.
So I'm wondering why is
Well,
it
it
that we
hasn't
give
come
you
up
an
before.
argument where your geometric horizon is supposed to be at 1.2 miles, and now we have horizons we can't see. Now we've got 5 different horizons apparently that we've never spoken about before. You can't decide if it's physical, if
only
it's
3.
just apparent. Oh, it's just 3, because you guys have to get that together. Because some of you guys say 5 now. Yeah.
Brenda, what are the 3
I've never heard
horizons that
anybody-
you say exist? Can you, Brenda, tell us the 3
Atmospheric.
horizons. Give me a name.
Atmospheric horizon, geometric horizon, and apparent horizon.
So shout out to James Richard, who says, Brenda can give you mathematical formulas for all your horizons. Can you provide pictures as well?
Yes, I have. It's in the Discord.
Oh, perfect. Can
Not
someone bring
being
that
in
up?
the Hangout with you, I don't have access to the stream.
Yeah, it's in the Discord, like the citation you refused to post the other day. Yeah, great. You're straight on it this time for some reason. Great. Can someone bring that up?
Hey, Brenda, what qualifies you to educate people on the horizon? Over.
The fact that I simply looked it up at a university physics website and simply read the information and then related it to you.
Yeah, can we see it then? Can someone bring up the picture? Anybody who's in the Hangout? Hey, Paul, by the way.
It's the one called DIP, including refraction, and it is a diagram labeling the description of all 3 horizons.
Okay.
Did you say a diagram?
So, did you
I
not hear
thought,
what
I
I
thought
said?
we were going to get a picture.
Pictures. Not
A
diagrams.
diagram is a picture.
No, we want a picture with the 3 horizons in it, identified by you. Picture. Reality. We're dealing with reality. Bloody hellfire. We don't need a pictorial representation of reality with you describing what happens in the pictorial representation. We need you to show us these 3 horizons in reality. Alexander, shout out to you for the super chat.
Diagrams and illustrations are how ordinary people think.
I couldn't care. We've asked for a picture. There can be only
Brenda.
one,
Yeah, I
says
know.
Alexander. Yeah, you're
You
right.
want
There
a
can-
picture
there can only
book?
be one.
I can't produce, a picture book for 3rd graders.
Brenda, do you
Most
have
people
one
figure things
single
out from
picture that's
illustration.
got more? Brenda, do you have one single picture that has more than one horizon in it? Please.
No, that
Um,
violates the definition of horizon.
Every picture of a horizon will have all 3 of them.
Perfect. I've got a picture of a horizon on screen right now. Got Anthony poking his little head over the top of this horizon.
No, I just see mountains.
Yeah, that's the
no, I
horizon. Sorry, that's a horizon. Do you not know what a horizon is?
Oh, okay, that's the apparent horizon.
Yeah, no shit. That's redundant. Horizon by definition is apparent. Why'd you keep using this word?
No, because there are different definitions.
But it's redundant.
You keep on
It's part of the
claiming
definition.
that the only definition of a horizon is the apparent horizon, and that's just wrong.
No. I haven't said that. What I've said is we don't have a physical leading edge of a sphere for a horizon. We don't have a geometric horizon. You need one because your maths for the world you think we live on is geometric and based on a geometry that gives you a geometric horizon. So we must have one if we live in that world. We definitely don't have one horizon, that is.
See, Brenda, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's changed. See, you're only calling it apparent now because now you have to distinguish between one horizon and many. Well, before we just called it horizon. Everybody just called it horizon, right? Now
I'm
all of a sudden
I'm sorry
it's an
that I
apparent
added to your
horizon,
intellectual.
Shut up! He's talking,
You'll have
Brenda.
to deal with
Stop bullying him, Brenda. He's in the middle of talking. Bloody bully boy. Can't help herself. Go ahead, Chocolate. I'm sorry. She's just a bully boy and can't help herself when she's being pummeled. Feel free to continue. Hopefully she won't interrupt again.
No, it's all good. I'm just trying to point out to her to see if she can understand how much her argument has changed. And, it's kind of ridiculous.
The Black Swan argument hasn't come up before.
Black Swan.
Oh, so it has had to change because this argument hasn't come up before. Is that what it is?
No, it's simply different aspects of the same argument. So nobody has had to bring up the astronomical horizon because nobody talks about it. And
is that because your geometrical horizon isn't where it's supposed to be at 1.2 miles? It's further than 9, and you have no argument for that?
Yeah, that's correct, Chocolate, yeah.
What is the definition? What is the definition, as you understand it, for the geometrical horizon?
It's the little edge that they put in that geometric measurement when they show you the tangent line you described earlier. The tangent lines to the physical edge.
It would be
bully boy. Yeah, I know. You sense you're getting pummeled, so you need to bully us and talk through us and mute us and censor us. Don't you, Globehead Fundy? Now we're going to segue away onto this. What's with all the current standard of muting by fundies when we pummel your geometric horizon? Why are you in this mode where you think you need to talk through Chocolate, talk through me? Why are you bullying everybody? Just because you're losing, you don't need to start bullying everybody. What's with this bullying? Tell us. Explain yourself.
You're like those ballers that the soccer ball goes within 10 feet of them and they fall to the ground. You should get a red card for feigning an injury.
Question. Nathan, just give me a sec. Brenda, I'm going to describe to you a concept. You understand what a concept is? It's something that's not real, yeah?
False. A concept is an idea or a thought, and thoughts are real. Yeah. They're in your head.
Thoughts are not real, Brenda.
Physical.
This is
just use the word physical.
Doesn't have any physicality.
Just use the word physical.
Okay, I'm going to describe to you a physical thing, okay? It's called Riley's horizon, and it's always defined as 11 pixels below the apparent horizon. Does Riley's horizon actually exist, Brenda?
Sure, but it's not very useful.
So it does exist. I've just told you it was conceptual and didn't exist.
Please, Anthony, just use the word physical.
So we're allowed to create definitions to describe things in the world. But Riley's definition of 11 pixels below the apparent horizon simply isn't terribly useful. So
what you just said was we're allowed to make stuff up.
I didn't ask if it was useful. I asked, does it exist?
It exists as your definition. So yes, every photograph or image of an apparent horizon, there will be hopefully 11 pixels below the horizon. So yeah, it would, because that's what definitions do. Definitions name things in the world.
So if you're saying that it only exists within the definition, Chocolate, would you agree with me that that doesn't actually exist?
Isn't physical.
Yeah, it just sounds like physical. A concept. It's not physical.
Thank you, God.
So how would we know that there is a geometric horizon if we can't ever pick it out in a picture?
Okay, well, the way that concepts. So the way the world works is everybody has ideas in their head, and we need a system for determining whether those ideas are simply in our heads and just fantasies, or whether they are real and objective. And so then the way we decide that is by having repeatable, testable, falsifiable predictions. And that's called
Great. That's called what?
science.
Science? That's not
Science.
Yeah,
So
science
how would we
makes
determine
repeatable, testable, falsifiable
Like
predictions.
Horizon.
Hold on, I'm rumpusing as well.
Right.
Sorry, Anthony.
So how would we determine that the actual real existence of the geometric horizon is physical, true?
Because it would make predictions based on our understanding of where the geometric horizon, that we would find it in future tests or observations. Observations
So the
are a
answer to
part
my question-
of science.
The answer to my question is it can make predictions, but we're trying to identify its existence, not the ability to make predictions within a reification. So how do we establish that there is a geometric horizon?
Because we can make future testable predictions. That's what makes something real, is if those predictions can be made independent of any observer, of any subject. The difference between subjective and objective
So
is
Brenda,
subjective
can I have a
is
citation
simply
for you
dependent on a
where
person,
you are?
and objective is independent of a person's beliefs or opinions.
So can I have a supporting citation then that allows you to make predictions to prove the tangibility of an object or the physicality of an object?
Well, the geometric and the apparent horizons make predictions because we can input on our observations into a curve calculator. Walter Bislin's is a good one. And from that, you can predict how much you will be obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. And since that is a reliable, testable, falsifiable prediction, it therefore confirms that the reality of the definitions of our scientific observations.
How does it confirm the reality if we can't determine the reality of the geometric horizon?
But we can.
How? By making
Different
predictions.
Situation. You said scientific observations.
By we can see the geometric horizon under conditions of low refraction or atmospheric refraction.
Oh, right. Have you got any examples for us where we can see this geometric horizon?
Yes. From your video, or the video that you pulled from to create this black swan image, there's the image that others have shown by and Blue Marble Science shows clearly of the geometric apparent horizon obstructing
that's
the
the
view of
apparent
the
horizon, Brenda.
platforms.
That's the apparent horizon. You said the geometric horizon. Well, that's based on geometry.
I understand your confusion. The geometric and the apparent horizons will coincide. They will lie. They will be next to each other, if not directly on top of each other, under conditions
So how would you be able to
of
distinguish?
low atmospheric.
No, she's just arguing that there's two.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
What?
I've got to step in because I covered this with her earlier. Sorry, Anthony, I've got to because I've already covered this with her. I believe it was 4 times. Sorry, there aren't 2 horizons, Brenda. There aren't 2 horizons. They don't sometimes coincide and overlap. That's just nonsense. There's only ever one. So this slight deviation from there being 1 and now there being 2 that overlap and coincide. No, Brenda, only ever 1. We covered it now 5 times. You don't have a separate geometric horizon that on some occasions, white swan situation, overlaps with the apparent horizon. Redundant. It's just the horizon. There's only one. It's just not geometric.
Well, I pasted a link to the what is it? It's the SDSU EDU website that explains this. So I would take that as a
explains it.
As a fairly
Explains what? You haven't acknowledged a word I've just said. You haven't acknowledged a word I've just said.
It explains that
you haven't acknowledged a word I've just said. Explains what? We haven't got 2 horizons. What is it explaining? Something I've just pummeled. It explains what? what I've just pummeled. We don't have two. You've just described how on occasion one will overlap with the other. That's not a circumstance we ever experience. So therefore it explaining that is it explaining something I've just debunked as nonsense, because we only have one horizon.
You didn't debunk, you just denied. Denial is not debunking.
What, deny the fact that we've got two horizons according to you? No, we don't have two horizons. There aren't certain circumstances where they overlap as just described by you, and apparently as explained in this document. We don't have two. There's nothing to deny. You're just wrong.
Saying no
nice
louder and
citation
more
on it.
slowly doesn't make what you say true.
Sorry,
What
so
makes-
it is true, according to Brenda, we have two horizons. On screen right now, one horizon, singular, one. Not two, one.
Nathan, perhaps you could consider the document.
Brenda, on screen right now, are you just going to deny it? Because I'm not saying it, it's on screen. Fact, you are wrong. There is only one horizon. It's on screen in every single image of the horizon in this stream during this conversation. You are factually wrong by definition and on screen. We only have one horizon. You telling me that it's just denial when you tell me there's two and that they overlap and coincide on certain circumstances is wrong. You are incorrect. I'm not in denial. There isn't two horizons on screen. There's only ever one, because the horizon by definition is a single point that is apparent. By definition. Sorry, Anthony.
Well, the geometric...
Shut up, Brenda. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was just wondering if we could get the citation that she's presenting, because I'd like to see what it actually says.
I put it in Discord. I don't have access to anything else, so you can look there, Anthony.
What room in Discord? Is it Betty's server?
It's Anthony. This is your problem to figure out. I don't have to handle.
Finally, she's actually posted something, and suddenly it's a problem. Yeah, you finally post something shit for brains. Now we're going to go and get it because Anthony wants it. It's a Discord live stream.
Right, I've got it. Nathan, I want to present this. Let's go through this.
Go ahead.
Real quick, Brenda was
screen.
talking about scientific observations. Could she just elaborate on that, please?
Scientific observations, in order to, that's just a part of the scientific method.
No,
it's one of the first things that you do. You make observations based on a hypothesis.
Were you using that to detail?
You make observations based on the hypothesis. I think you got that twisted, Brenda.
She's wrong. It's not part of the scientific method. You're wrong.
No, when you look, everywhere you look, if you Google scientific method, that's one of the first things it says.
Well, just because you trust the first thing you find on the internet just means you're a retard when it comes to research. Just observing things is not part of the scientific method. It's very specific in terms of what you're doing as the first step. That, my friend, is not a step. Now, the reason I know it's not a step is because the process of the scientific method is elucidation of cause and effect. Well, if you're just observing something, there is no effect to establish the cause of. So the first step would be observation of phenomena. So just saying observing something's part of the method. No, it isn't. You're just wrong. Now, you're wrong in terms of what you think is science. I haven't started to introduce you back into the conversation. I'm debunking your assertions of science. It isn't science. You're misunderstanding based on a Google search. Yeah, there's a lot of shit on the internet, Brenda. Your poor discernment doesn't mean that because you found it on Google means it's true. Yeah, you might do a Google search. You might even be the top result. It doesn't mean that cause and effect reasoning suddenly abandons its own definition. It doesn't. You'd need to be establishing cause of effect if you're performing the scientific method. Observing something isn't an effect. So no, you are wrong. I don't need you to tell me about your cursory research you did about what science is. Now, Anthony is trying to address something. Let's get back off this sideline. Anthony wants to have a look at the thing you posted and dissect that load of old nonsense.
So I've just looked up this citation that she's got. It's got the word horizon in it a load of times, and all I've done is Control and F. There's 25 citations, so we'll have to just either randomly pick one that seems like it might be relative
just
to
read the
what
article.
we're
It
talking
isn't very long.
He's talking.
Well, it is quite text heavy, and if you're not going to help me with where you
Brenda, stop bullying us, bully boy. You said you've got a
So it's-
citation. Someone's now looking at it. That doesn't mean you talk. It means he talks. Don't bully him, bully boy.
It's funny because it starts off by saying people often ask how far you can see or how far it is to the apparent horizon. I've never heard anybody ever say, how far is it to the apparent horizon, Dad? I've only ever heard them say, how far is it to the horizon, Dad? Never ever the apparent horizon, ever. Has anybody ever heard anyone reference it like that? I've not.
No, it's redundant. We do it
Nope.
here because we're trying to establish the non-physicality nature of the horizon. So we use all these redundant terms, not actual, apparent, horizon. Well, all redundant terms, by definition, it is apparent. Geometric or otherwise.
It says the apparent horizon where the sky appears to meet the earth. Because of perspective effects, different observers generally have different apparent horizons. Because of perspective effects, different observers generally have different apparent horizons. Because of refraction, even the sea horizon usually lies above the geometric horizon. So then we click on geometric. It says where the apparent sea horizon would be if there were no refraction. It's not true that though, because we see much further than the apparent horizon, the geometric horizon in the oil platforms, because the refraction can't account for an extra 9 miles. Anyway, equivalently, where the cone with vertex at the observer's eye and tangent to the sea surface would meet the celestial sphere. And then the problem is we click on celestial sphere, and it says an imaginary sphere of infinite radius centered at the observer. So we've got an imaginary sphere of infinite radius being referenced by a geometric horizon, which is an apparent sea horizon that would be there if there were no refraction. Brenda, there's no physicality whatsoever in here. It only exists in its definition alone. You can't pick out any picture that demonstrates where the geometric horizon is. And even if you could, we would define it as the apparent horizon or just the word horizon. So perhaps the geometric horizon only exists as a figment of your model.
And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making this live show possible. If you're watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you're watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. Another massive thank you to all of you smashed the super chat. I think there was actually a couple of super chats I didn't read out, so I think I'll try and read those out. Probably can't read the most lowest one, but shout out to... where the hell are they? Oh, there they are. James Richard, Brenda, what horizon does the boat go over? It would be going over the geometric horizon in their model, James Richard. They just don't have one, unfortunately, for them. Also, a massive shout out to Awaken Narrative. Let's see if I can just scroll up and find your super chat. It's too far gone. Sorry, James Richard. Sorry, Awaken Narrative. I might not be able to find your super chat to read it out, but if I can't, I'll say another huge, massive, enormous thank you for tuning in live. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as the after show will start now. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!